Okay, talk to me. What do you think? That was heavy.
Yeah, and very, very concise. I can't say that I'm not familiar with Aaron's story because I am. But he touches on so many things that resonate with me. You know, suffering with depression for the last 20 years of my life, and then not getting properly diagnosed, I would say, until about 2.5 years ago.
It's hard.
Everything falls apart with no rhyme, no reason. You get up every day and you go through the motions, and this is your life, and you kind of just accept it. And I am so grateful that he found the help that he needed and that he had the courage to almost give up all the things that meant something to him at that moment in time because he needed salvation, and he
Yeah.
gave it up.
And you know what
And
I
it's,
love about it? It's he has less, but he's giving more.
yes, you know, I always look at his show and I laugh at his cereal boxes back there. So, what cereal does he have up there today? Um, hmm. And it's funny, like I've shared the story before with, moving out and moving into my first apartment with my son, just him and I, and sitting at a friend's card table that was loaned to us as our kitchen table and sharing a can of ravioli and 99 cents white bread. And the thing is, every time I walk by that aisle in the grocery and I see those cans of ravioli, those memories come back. And I'm sure it's the same for Aaron with cans of tuna and pasta. Aaron, my son, actually eats cans of tuna and pasta right now because he is renting his own place. So um, that
Wow.
was
Okay.
powerful. And, it's the stories like that what we need to hear because those are the ones that inspire us to know that look at what this guy went through and look at where he is now. And more than that, look at what he has chosen to do with
Yeah.
his life for
Right.
others.
To inspire. This is inspirational. Okay. Are you ready for this one? This is from Jose Angel. Are you ready?
Ready? I can.
All right.
Hello, how are you? I'm gonna do this small video as requested for the 50% that want to get the impact in the community. I want to talk about my case. I was a former hostage that I was being hosted during 5 years in a hostile foreign country. I went to a business trip and that became 5 years being in captivity. I was get caught in a nightmare because it became a political thing between the U.S. and the country. I was there. I'm Venezuelan born and become U.S. citizen. So that for me was really a real nightmare for me and for my family. So this tragedy that I suffered finished 9 months ago, on October 1st, 2022, where I got released after there was a prisoner swap the Biden administration made among us with two guys here in the U.S. and we were swapping a Caribbean island. So when we came back, we found that our case was not unique. We found that there's a lot of U.S. Americans kept captivity worldwide. So today, our family and I myself became part of they created a campaign called the Bring Our Family Home campaign. My family is part of that campaign, and today I, as a former hostage, are part of that campaign. So we're doing a strong advocacy for that hostage situation. We have been talking in all the scenarios possible. We went to the Congress, U.S. Congress, to talk to make change in the legislation because this has become a national security threat. Is the problem for financial, psychological, and logistical problem for the family. So we're working hard to get a change in the legislation to support more the families. We're talking loudly, we're reading articles, recording interviews, podcasts, but we decided to transcend bigger. We decided to create a program to help others under any adversity. So today, I created a program called the Life Build for a Survivor Guide, where I'm beginning to help people through adversities, any adversity in life. My motto is that you can survive any adversity in life. So today I'm posting I'm writing newsletter, I'm talking with people, I'm helping people to overcome this tragedy. There can be any tragedy in life. So we decided to convert our tragedy in something to help others. What we will do with this, if we get to this final, well, we are thinking to create our own foundation, because one of the problems is that I, being a Venezuelan born, there's a pity that the diaspora of the Venezuelans, a million Venezuelans all over the world, and here in the U.S. has become even a problem in the border. So my foundation will try to help them, to support them, give mental, physical, logistical help, but also coach them how they can overcome their adversity, how we can help them, because these people are coming here with a lot of problems. So if they come with the problem, it's going to be a problem for the society. So today, all these problems that come in depressions, anxiety, attempt their life. There are many things happening, and not only that community is worldwide, but I would concentrate my effort in trying to help that community that I think that I have to help them, because I belong to them. So I will create a foundation to support this community. And again, today I decided that my message transcend and convert my tragedy in something that I can be helpful, that can inspire others. I want to speak loudly about this. I'm going to begin to do public speaking also in this topic. That's my new motto. My new motto is never give up, never lose hope, and hopefully this message get out. Thank you very much.
Nicole, talk to me.
Wow, my mind's blown. What is there? The idea of being held captivity is crazy, and
this is not 20 years ago. He said 9 months ago.
This is last year that he was released, and as an immigrant, this hits me on so many levels. I was back home last year, and before that, a few years ago. And it was just at that time when there was a huge influx of Venezuelans into Trinidad. And I went to get my hair done the day before I flew out. And the girl that was there that did my hair, she didn't speak a lick of English. Thank God, yo hablo poquito español. But so many of my friends at home are actually fighting the cause right now, where they're collecting. And having had my mom passed away, we donated quite a bit of clothing and shoes and other household items that, the people in Trinidad are trying to help the Venezuelan populace that have migrated to Trinidad, and they come with nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing.
That's why
the
we need
clothes on their backs. And I am just not even just moved by what this gentleman is doing, but you need to reach out to me, and I need to reach out to you, because I want to find a way to help. I don't know how.
Yeah, I'm going to put him in my show, because more people need to hear about it. So yeah, I'm definitely going there. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm just really happy that he chose to come and share his message with us on 50 Inspirational, because of what this show is going to do.
Yeah.
For his foundation. And I know, sir, that your foundation is going to happen, and it's going to be a wide success and help so many people.
It is going to be. Okay, so I'm gonna have, hold on one second here.
To hear Ulu's story, because I put a post out on him last night, because he did something that really just touched me. And even though I was in the middle of working on, paying clients, what's paying clients, honestly, in this day and age, when
he's amazing.
This gentleman he stopped me down in my tracks with what happened, and I had to.
I read that.
I had to stop, and I really want to hear this man's story. I do.
So first of all, before I play with this video, this man has nothing and spent his money, last dime, to get his suit sent away so he could look presentable in this video. He chose to do it this way, okay? And I told him, brother, hopefully one of this lifetime you can have Level Up Academy where you're at, and I can support you with his endeavor. I'm putting it out there to the world, to the juju. But Level Up Academy, look at that. 2023 says, with deep gratitude to God, Dr. Constance, Nicole, and the rest of the Level Up family. Are you ready?
Ready.
Hi, my friends call me Olu. I'm 50 years old, and I have 4 lovely kids. The oldest one, Elizabeth, is in the university now studying microbiology. She gained admission this year. In 2012, I lost my job in the bank, and I went through what remains the most difficult period of my life, the darkest, the most terrifying period that I've ever faced. I would wake up at 2 a.m. sometimes and go to the window, and I would have tears in my eyes, anxious, seriously anxious about how I was going to provide for my kids for that day, to feed them. The issue of even paying school fees was not the priority then. I mean, I was owing school fees constantly. I had to go to the school all the time to beg the principals, to beg administrators, just for them to remember how regularly I used to pay my children's school fees. I remember a particular time that I had to feed the kids with 2 packs of biscuits. Each pack had 5 sticks in it. So what I would do was I would share 1 pack between the 2 older ones. That means they get 2.5, about 2.5 each. Then I would keep the 3rd one for the youngest one. What I would do is I would give him 2 sticks out of the pack, and I wouldn't allow him to see the remaining 3 sticks, because immediately he sees them, he would ask for them. He might not necessarily eat them, probably play with them and all of that. And then what happens is that once he's hungry again, he starts crying, and I might not have anything as of that time. So they were really very difficult years of my life. I was completely crushed. I was completely broken. I had nothing, no one, no avenue, of getting out of the situation or fulfilling my responsibility, which is to provide for my family. Because as the Bible said, a man who does not provide for the family is worse than an infidel. So I had a situation where some people who knew who I was before would come to me. And in one particular case, some young men came to me and asked me, because they knew I had a lot of friends all over the world, particularly in the United States. They asked me to give them an account of one of my friends that they'd seen me chatting with, so very regularly. His name is Brian Zina. He's on LinkedIn also. He lives in Reading, Pennsylvania. I mean, I know his entire family to a certain extent. They don't all know me, but I know them because he shares all of those things with me. They wanted me to get his account number so that they can use it for a sports scholarship scam. I found a way to keep stringing them along, because I didn't want to immediately, reject the offer. But eventually, time always has a way, of addressing some of these things. They got the message. Eventually, they found their way. And then in 2019, after 7 years of what I really would call hell, I know hell is relative, really. And I'm not naive enough to think that I'm the only one who has suffered, or that my suffering is the worst. Definitely not. I got my first website in May 14th of 2019, and my life has never, been the same. What I would love is if I could get an opportunity for people to work with me, because I believe that if we truly believe in a particular set of values and principles, if we see other people that demonstrate them and we support them, I think it would be like fanning the flame,
Yes.
and we'll get to the point where it becomes a conflagration, and then those principles and values will become more widespread. I have a couple of young people that are around me that I serve as a role model for. If I'm empowered and I'm able to succeed, I will be able to show them that you don't have to be a criminal or a scammer to make it in life. That is what I would love to achieve. Thank you very much.
This is the room he lived in 2019. And then it actually like shattered and crashed down. So his family is living in one room with no, like barely any roof and no safety. Okay, so talk to me, sister. Wow, no words for you?
No,
Remember when I told you when I was watching this video that I was crying? Remember when I told you I was crying?
yes, and I could see why. And you know, the picture that he put up there is not one that I'm not familiar with. Again, you know, I was born and raised in a third world country, and to see shanties is a very normal thing.
Yeah.
And to see the kids running around in the streets barefooted, in a short pants and no shirt, would not just indicate the heat, but really indicate also a lack of what they actually have materialistically. But the thought of people going hungry, of children going hungry, and of being a parent watching your child hungry is.
When he went on my live, he said he walked like 50 miles to beg 12 cents. And I've never begged in my life, nor walked 50 miles, but.
Yeah, because, you know, when I think about just, you know, and you say it or you hear people say it all the time, right? When you think about the table scraps and the number of people that could feed,
But
it really gets you. It really, you know, and yeah, I am so grateful to you for coming up with this project and for the reasons that you did and for asking me to be a part of it, because it's
right? We didn't know this would happen. I didn't know. But I'm grateful. I'm grateful. All right. You choose again. Hold on. Right. She's totally
but
gonna.
of late I've had the opportunity to really engage with some of her content, and it's just somebody I'd really like to get to know better.
Let's make it bigger. All right. Are you ready?
Hey, CJ and Nicole. First of all, thank you so much for hosting this contest for 50 Most Inspirational People of LinkedIn. I am so excited to see what the results end up being and learning all about all of these different people. I know that you've got a tough decision in the next month ahead of you on how to work this through, but I have no doubt that you will pick the best people and it will be an amazing process. You asked us to share in a video, if we were chosen, how we would inspire others. So I just wanted to start out by saying that I think my story itself really inspires others. A year ago, I was a public education teacher walking out of a building with no idea of where to go next and what I wanted to do. And here I sit a year later, not even a year later, with an amazing career that I'm building. I'm getting to do everything I love. I'm helping people. I'm helping children. And I wouldn't have had any of that happen without having the network and the support of my community on LinkedIn. Most specifically, of course, the house. Big shout out to Mike and CJ for welcoming me in when they did. It was a good time in my life that I needed to have some reassurance that I was on the right path, and Hounds has offered me that. So I would love to be able to continue to help pay it forward and helping others. Another thing that I would do to inspire others is just remaining very authentic. I think one of the things over the last year that I've learned most about myself is that I wear my feelings on my sleeve. I tell people what I think and how I feel. What you see is what you get. And hopefully that's an inspiration to others to be that way as well. My passion is, again, something that I can't hide. A recruiter once told me that my passion for children and specifically social emotional learning oozes out of me, and it's just not even containable. I have to agree that I feel that way too. I do believe that no matter what happens, things happen the way that they're supposed to. And I've ended up on this amazing journey with amazing opportunities, and that itself has just been a complete inspiration. Also, I would be very dedicated. If I were chosen for this project, being able to inspire others definitely requires showing dedication to them and dedication for them. Being a cheerleader and being behind people and helping others is a big piece of what I've done my whole career as an educator. Finding the good and cheering it on, looking for the positive. So that's something that I feel like I could bring to the table as well. I know you have a huge decision ahead of you, and I thank you for even watching my video as part of this decision. I just want to share with you that this has been one of the hardest things for me to get reported. Unfortunately, my mother is in ICU right now, and my first attempt at a video did not go through. So I am hoping desperately that this one does work. Thank you both, and I can't wait to talk with you soon.
They're
video went through.
You see this? They're prioritizing us. This project, we think, nothing. This is people's lives that were given to Nicole. This is a project that I have always dreamed of, to elevate people. Because
that in itself is the crazy inspiration that we're seeing here, because there are so many people that I know have reached out to me regarding this project, and they at this very moment, like Kristen, are facing something adverse in their lives. Still, they have dug deep and found it within themselves to do this 5-minute video, to take the time to reflect and show up for themselves. And I'm really glad that they have, because they're actually showing up for all the people who love them, who depend on them. It brings a level of courage to not just themselves, but to the rest of us that are watching these. Yes, we inspire ourselves by our own stories, but we are also inspired by others. It's both ways. And Kristen, it is a beautiful thing to me that the first video did not go through, but you did not let that set you back. You weren't like, you know what, I don't have time for this. This is not important right now. You prioritized it, and you prioritized yourself. And you are very right about one thing. To be involved in something, whether or not it's this project or something that involves others, you have to show up. And showing up is not easy. 10 minutes before this, trust me, when Constance says to me, Nick, you ready? I'm like, wait. No, I'm in the middle of like a thing right now.
Yeah, I'm like, don't worry, we'll do it next weekend or whatever, because I've seen this video.
Because family first. But at that moment, I also felt that, no, I had committed to this and I'm showing up. And sometimes there's just tough decisions that you have to make. And those tough decisions in that moment are crippling for you. But just think about how many people that you're going to get out of being crippled, because you took that moment and decided, no, I'm going to show up. So just
I'm going to make it bigger.
Hi, my name is Chris Malazewski, and I am a co-founder of the Walking Tall movement. Professionally, I'm a director of recreation with the Park District of Highland Park, and on July 4th, 2022, I experienced a mass shooting. You see, that day I was the co-chair of the parade, of which I've been for about the last 5 or 6 years. And at 10:14, a killer opened fire and sadly took 7 lives and wounded physically over 40 more, and mentally injured thousands, including myself, who now has a PTSD diagnosis. 3 days after my experience on July 4th, July 7th, a gentleman by the name of Todd Blylevin reached out to me via text to check in to see how I was doing and let me know that he was there to help me however I needed. I didn't know Todd, but we had a mutual friend. And come to find out, Todd also was a mass shooting survivor, as he experienced the worst mass shooting on record in Las Vegas, Nevada on October 1st, 2017 at the Route 91 Country Music Festival. He also was on site for approximately 7 or 8 hours, completing some heroic tasks. And I myself was on site in Highland Park for about 7 hours, working with law enforcement, completing some tasks to help rescue staff sheltering in place, vacating a beach, amongst other things. Todd and I became friends immediately, of course, as you can imagine, brothers bonded by experiences. Todd resides in Dallas. I reside here in the Chicagoland area. We're inseparable via text, cell phone, email, almost on a daily basis. Fast forward to January of 2023 now, he and I had this resounding feeling that we had to do greater good from our experience. And so on January 16th, we began a conversation about charitable work and things of that sort. And lo and behold, it began the Walking Tall movement. The Walking Tall movement is a mental health movement, essentially inspiring people to be vulnerable, share stories, use kindness, lead with love, and hopefully we can help collaboratively create the world's largest peer support group addressing mental health issues along the way. We also have a doctor of psychology on our team. Her name is Vanessa La Rosa. She founded the Helping Hands Clinic in New York, has since sold it, and remains on as the executive clinical director, but also as a member of our team. So we also have a podcast currently, the Walking Tall Movement podcast. As I said, we're working behind the scenes to build charity. We are also building a piece of technology for therapeutic needs. We are also, well, gosh, we're doing a lot. Frankly, we have some creative work, some poetry, some movie writing, some book telling, things of that sort. And we're really working to create this worldwide mental health movement that we believe people using kindness, being vulnerable, as I said earlier, will really help solve some of this mental health crises we're experiencing. And so at the risk of rambling today, I want to thank you for this opportunity. I want to please encourage you to go to www.walkingtallmovement.com to check out all of our content. We have all of our social platforms, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, etc. There you can find us inspiring, hopefully, people to be vulnerable, leading with love, as I said, and being kind. So once again, thank you for this opportunity. We hope to be presented in this amazing project of yours, and walk tall.
You know, it's wow. So I always believe in being very transparent, and I am that person that does not watch the news, like, ever. I'm the person that will walk out of work in the middle of a rainstorm and she didn't bring an umbrella. Yeah, that's me. Because again, I don't watch the news and I don't watch the weather. And it is not that I do not hear about the mass shootings and some of the larger bits of news that happen, because there are people all around me. So of course I do. You know, and then being bipolar and being aligned with so many other people that struggle with a mental illness, most times genetically, in my case, I tend to think that mental illness surrounds just that. Um, and there are so many other facets of mental health in general, right? PTSD being one of them. And Chris, what you and your friend are doing is amazing. You know, a LinkedIn post is here today and gone tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
A piece of news is here today and gone tomorrow. And sadly, replaced at times by something just as bad, worse. And then we just see history repeating itself.
It's really
And, you know, just we can't have lives lost in vain.
Mm-mm.
And that is very inspiring,
It
what you
is.
guys are doing.
And I think it's also good that I feel like they're honoring the people who died in that mass shooting, whether it's for the Las Vegas one or for the Chicago one. They're honoring their lives by moving forward and helping those who were affected, the families who lost loved ones, the families who's now probably any type of 4th of July poppin' would make them really triggered. Um, the Uvalde shooting with the kids in Texas gave me anxiety. 3 days after that, I got a text from my kid's school saying there's an active shooter, and they didn't tell us if it was at my kid's school or around. And they told us not to come. You don't tell me not to come and then tell me that there's a mass shooter somewhere. No, I'd go to jail for my
Yeah.
kids any day. So I went, and it was actually a prank that a child did in a public school, and he got reprimanded for it. But that's not funny. It's not funny. Kids think that it's funny. It's not. I mean, my anxiety level was worse. I was shaking, and my husband's like, "You cannot drive like that." And I said, "Yeah, I'm gonna calm down right now and get myself together." And my husband's like, "I'll drive." So we drove and we went, and the cops were there everywhere. The whole city was shut down. And as a parent, it is a nightmare. It is a nightmare when you hear a text from your school, there's an active shooter, and they didn't tell you if it was from the school or not. So it's very disheartening.
Met Lonnie recently, and she happens to think that I'm a comedian. So,
I love Lonnie, just FYI. She has the
Lonnie,
good.
this video better make me laugh, Lonnie. I'm just saying.
Let's take a look. Are you ready?
So, how you doing? Lonnie Ray here. Yeah.
I love her glasses.
Ray of sunshine, right? It wasn't always that way, though. It's definitely been a work in progress. Things were, you see the glory, but let me tell you, the story is wow, it's pretty sad. But I don't want to live there, but I'll tell you where I've come from. Back a long time ago, I was so dark, so full of despair, so full of self-loathing that I just wanted to die. And there was this other part of me. Gee, we have indomitable spirits, don't we? We all do. We're still here, right? Anyway, back to the story. I only wanted someday that somebody might call me happy-go-lucky. It was the biggest freaking reach you could ever imagine. There's no way. And yet, it's what I prayed. God help me find my smile, because I got tired of having people say, smile. I'm like, tell me a joke. I mean, like, I had nothing really to smile about. I was shouldering tremendous pain and guilt and despair and self-loathing. A couple of examples. When I was 7, my twin brothers were born. My mother confided in me that they have different fathers. What? Yeah, she's in the medical history books for that one. Turns out my parents were drug dealing swingers and all kinds of stuff. Wonderful, huh? The abuse that I suffered, it was all forms. Trust me, physical, emotional, mental, all of it. Left me just basically a wounded child who grew up in, as a wounded older face, but still a child inside. And it has been a tremendous amount of work to become this person who would wear something like this, who would have a gnome, my homie. But you know what? That carefree spirit has come at a very high cost, but it was worth it. There's a lot of clouds for sure, but the sun is behind them always. And I wanted to inspire you to know that's true, that you can plant different seeds and have a different crop grow, and that it can take some time, and to surround yourself with the right people. Meanwhile, what I did was I became a total drug addict, and I remember running away from my drug dealer boyfriend who was chasing me with a weapon. And I broke my foot jumping over a fence, and I ended up in a women's shelter, and then I ended up in a homeless shelter, and then I ended up living with a guy that was a drug addict and I didn't know it. Like I have really tested the boundaries of how much our spirit will look out for us, because I've done some really dumbass things in life. But I didn't know any better, I suppose. I thought maybe my life wasn't worthwhile. That's kind of the message I had from childhood, when I remember banging on my parents' door. Help, I took a bunch of baby aspirin and I'm scared. And they said, go back to bed. You're bothering us, go back to bed. And that message of you're not wanted, you're unworthy, whatever, unloved. I really took that in and had to overcome, undo all those knots and remake a whole new tapestry. And I'm telling you, it's possible. In fact, if I can do it, anybody can. Because man, I was just Debbie Downer. Oh my God. I sucked the air out of the room, the life out of friendships. But now my biggest wishes have come true. And they weren't wishes, because they were based in action. Got to take action. And I did, and I did, and I planted some more, and I hoed some more. And then, whoop, that's the timer to tell me to stop talking. That's a wrap, said the timer. But I really just wanted to inspire you to know that no matter how bad it's been, there's the sunshine behind those clouds, hon. I hang in there. And if I can be of any help to you, let me inspire you to know that whatever has been doesn't have to continue to be. Thanks.
Aww. Don't you love her?
I love that this was the last one that we chose for this session, because
it's happy moments.
It's not that she dismissed any of it, because it's all there and it's always going to be there and it's always going to be a part of our story. But this is where we are today, and who we are today is going to change tomorrow, and it's going to change 10 years from now. And this moment, we're going to look back and be inspired by it, but we would have moved on to doing something else even more inspiring. And
imagine being 7 though, taking all that crap, and you tell your mom like, Mom, I'm so scared, I took some pills, and your mom's like, go back to bed, we don't care.
I know, but it's like she took all those horrible little moments and just like put it in a box, and then she just decided, I'm gonna light the goddamn box on fire, and it did. And when it did, it just went boom, and it was, forget it, now it's fireworks in the sky.
July. I love Lonnie. Like,
yeah, I just, I love that video, and it's so much of exactly what this project is about. It's not about the tears and the
Nicole, these are only 6. We are committed to watch 50 of this.
Yeah, I want to be careful when people say, you want to help? And I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll help.
See, I told you, I come with a cost, guys. I come with a cost. I voluntold and I come with a cost. But it's worth it, right?
Yes, the rewards
or you're like in the back of your head, you're like, oh, why did I say yes to CJ?
No. The rewards are priceless, okay? I have just experienced how many other people's lives? Just a little snippet of it.
Mm-hmm.
And every single one of them has made an impact on me. And at some point in my future, some part of one of these video is going to come back to me, and it's going to be at a very relevant time, right? So I am grateful that I had this chance to work with you on this. It's, a gift to myself. Me being a little bit selfish at the moment saying that, but it is. So I know we're going to be doing this, and we're going to be doing this again and again and again and again. And it is not work. It is not work when you are passionate about what you want to do, when it's in your heart and you want it to pour out. It is not work. It oozes. With who said that in the video? Kristen. Your passion oozes from you.
Mhm.
It does.
But here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna actually put those videos in YouTube, and we're gonna make it into a series. But thank you for watching us. It's gonna be on luabyduckleland.com, because as much as inspiring stories this is for us, we can't keep it as best secret. We have to let the world know how to inspire yourselves and how your story can make a difference and inspire and give the glitter of hope to others out there, right? You're not the only one
Absolutely.
who's suffering, but you're not alone in that suffering. We are here for you. And so maybe we'll use Chris's and their app for mental wealth and mental well-being after this. We don't know what the fibers of all this energy come together to help each other. Like something compelled me to do this project, and something compelled her to say yes to me. Be careful when I ask for yeses. Nicole just said yes.
Oh, but no, this has been great, and it's going to continue to be great. And
Any
happy for us.
last minute message before I end our recording? What is your last message in terms of like the video, what your reflection on that video, and also saying yes to this project? What was your expectations before the project, during the project, and now after the project?
Oh my God, you asked a lot of questions in one question, and they're all loaded. For starters, when you're gonna do something like this with Constance, just prepare yourself and brush your hair, because I obviously didn't. And then I didn't know what to expect. I do know that I trust you, and everything that I've observed about you, I admire. And there isn't a reason why I would not want to know more. And as I started to know more about the project, I understand on a much deeper level what it's all about, not just the surface. It's not just you guys seeing us on screen, you guys seeing people on video sharing their story. It's the meaning behind all of what we're doing. To be motivated, you need to be inspired. To take action, you need to be motivated. To put in the hard work, it is as a result of action. You add them all up together, or rather you take those steps one by one by one by one, and then you get somewhere, and that is the result. That result can bring so much benefit and so many rewards to so many others. So that's why you start with the inspiration and you keep moving. You keep moving, but it's got to start with the inspiration. So as the what's coming, what do I expect again? I have none, because this project has blown every expectation of mine out of the water. Every single one.
Careful, I have 2 more projects coming.
I do believe I'm already signed up for one of them.
Oh my God, CJ, I quit. See, I'm not the faint of hearts. When I say level up, I embody that. I will level you up. If you're ready, let's go. Let's just go. Think of like, Mary Poppins, when you hold her hand and you fly and you don't know where you're going. That is the emotions I want to invoke on people who work with me. You don't know where you're going, but I'm hoping that I can't predict the future and how you would feel, but I'm hoping that you feel the same way as I do, and the intention behind what we do is a labor of love and care and compassion.
Most definitely is. So I love you, sister. Everybody enjoy your 4th. I know that I am, and I am enjoying it quite simply because I have the freedom to choose to spend it this way today.
Bye, everybody. We'll end it.
Bye.